Thank you for taking this moment to breathe and to listen to what can change your life forever. My name is Ragnar Zinikas, and I'm the founder of Starpreneurs TV, How to Dominate the Decade talk show, World Women Conference and Awards, the creator of Coral Desk, and the coach of the Changemakers. My mission is to empower through education, and I want to thank you very much for taking the time to join us today. It is my distinct honor to bring you Dr. John N Kalaras. Our presenter asked me to begin with a disclaimer. If you are looking to theatrics and entertainment, you are in the wrong place. However, if you want substance and workable techniques that have been tested and proven results, you are in the right place. So together we will discuss two important business topics addressed in two different books of his. Out of the book Train the Trainer, he will share with us some of his techniques that make the book and his training unique. And then we will discuss also networking and interview techniques, and we will explore in his other book, which is Career Success. So John has extraordinary biography. If I will read all of it, we will need another hour. But I can say that we have had all walks of life people here. And John is someone who has been recognized by the UNESCO. John has been an advisor for the President of America, and he's the only person who is also a founding partner for a university which is going to open its doors very soon in the United States of America. So without further ado, John, welcome. Dr. John Kalaras is connecting from Chicago. So you have written 9 books, and 8 out of them are on Amazon. So today we're going to discuss 2 of them, the Trainer and the Career. I understand that the Train the Trainer addresses training issues and is really, really useful to any business executive, business trainer, and business owner. When I read the book and the workbook, I came across many ideas, concepts, and techniques that are very unique and interesting. Can we discuss some of them?
Hi, Ragnar, and thank you for the kind introduction. I'm sorry all this time I was trying to share screen and I didn't do it earlier, but I'll do it now. But yes, we can. Actually, the books that you refer to are these 2. Train the Trainer and the Career Success. Let me see if I can get the share screen up for in a moment. My God, I should have done this earlier. I apologize, absent-minded professor.
So until you do so, what would you say, what has been the inspiration for all 9 books? Is this out of need, or is this out of inspiration?
Well, basically, what is important, I think, for our audience to know is how I came to writing these books. And let's start with the Career Success until I get this damn share screen here. No, start video, 1 second, my goodness. When my dean gave me the course to teach on career planning, I looked at the book, as we always do as professors, and I didn't like the one that he gave me. So I notified my students to return the book, not to buy it anymore, and I taught the book through my notes and what I knew. Well, they liked it so much, I had them giving me all the inspiration I needed in order to write my book on career success. On the other one that we'll discuss today, let me see here, where's the damn thing? Why can't I get a screen? Let's start all over again with a share.
Yeah, exactly.
Screen share. Desktop should be right here.
So until you do so, I will give a little more about your background to people that
Please do. I'll do it.
Do not know you. So John has been professor at the Keller Graduate School of Management for 41 years. He's, as mentioned already, author of 9 business books. All are, as mentioned, on Amazon as well under his name. And in addition, he has also authored and implemented more than over 30 business programs. He is the founder of the newly established global university that offers qualified education in the fields of leadership, entrepreneurship, bioinformatics, IT and AD, energy and environmental sustainability, organic agriculture, and health and care management, to mention just few. And in 1999, he was recognized by UNESCO as the Professor of the Year. And in 2003, he received the White House recognition for academic excellence. So at the global plateau, he has assisted 12 countries in implementing effective systems that lead to operational excellence. At the national plateau, he has trained dozens of Fortune 500 companies with thousands of employees. And he owned several different businesses, some of which employed 50 people. All such business he started from the scratch. And in 2005, he shared the podium with Senator Barack Obama, later President Obama, at the National Leadership Conference in Chicago. And between the years of 2005 and 2009, he served on the President's Business Advisory Council under President George Bush, advising on educational and training issues. So how are we doing?
It's unbelievable. Let me see if I can do this now. Unbelievable. Out of all times, and when we tried it, it worked fine.
That's the thing. When we make plans, then life happens. So nothing to do. So,
okay. I got the presentation on my screen. Let's see. Obviously, you don't see it, do you?
Nope. You need to share it.
Okay. Yeah, I need to share it. 1 second. There you go. Hopefully it'll share now.
Yes.
Do you?
Yes, we do.
Okay, there we are, eventually. Okay. Well, now we can go formally. Thank you. Well, you mentioned the 2 books, and thank you for the kind introduction. Since we're going to start with the Train the Trainer, I think it's important that we talk about the cover of the book, which, by the way, was designed by a dearest friend, colleague of mine, Patricia Munoz Roca. As you can tell, the Train the Trainer emblem is right in the center. However, all around it, I have other roles that trainers play, like mentor, coach, facilitator. And the reason for having these roles there, folks, is trainers sometimes drift from their role as a trainer to any of those other roles, and they either forget to go back or they don't know how to. So we train them and we show them how to go back, okay? And that is the main reason for having, let's see now, there you go, for having that as our emblem. Next, what we try to do with our people in training them is that they need to understand that different people perceive things differently, therefore they learn differently. Look at this picture, 2 individuals looking at the same picture. One of them sees 4 objects, the other sees 3. And along with that, we also go through the 7 learning styles that exist or are known today, and we address them and we teach them how to address them all. So basically, and again, I will be going kind of quickly through this information today, and for the audience purposes, I also want you to know that you will see some pages that will be clustered with information. However, don't panic, they're intentionally designed as such, and you will see my email address. Email me and I'll send you the information. But if you see a clustered page, it is by design. So having said that, the next thing that we do is we go beyond what usually the trainers go. And most trainers begin with data, information, and they hope to create some knowledge. We go way beyond that and we create understanding, mastery of the subject, and hopefully wisdom as well. Obviously, when you see this cup here with all the tools, that means here we have now an exercise that we need to do, and exercises follow up at that point. Next, you need to understand that the people who are in the training and the company that orders the training have different expectations. The trainees want to improve their skills, their knowledge, and hopefully get their job easier and hopefully make some money. Management, and as you'll see in this table that I have below, have different expectations. Management wants to know, what problems are you going to solve? I'll pay for the training, they say, but what problems can you solve? So, and again, you see my email address up there, and you'll see it multiple times. Copy it, email me, and I'll send you whatever information you want.
So do you have some type of structure or a path that the trainer needs to follow?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, spelled out in both the book and the workbook. Here's the page I was referring to. And there are 17 steps that we have in providing effective and efficient training. It is a template, as we call it, meaning step-by-step approach that people need to follow. One of the things that we mentioned in there is the word system, and we try to teach people how to develop a system, meaning how to organize themselves. And for them to remember the word system and the significance of it, we have an acronym. So if you take the word system vertically, we say with a system, you save yourself significant time, effort, and money. So develop a system and you'll do all that.
That's a beautiful and it's very easy to remember. So some of the uniqueness that I was really impressed when I was reading your books, and I will refer to them, were the employee engagement and the trust in workplace and rewarding your employees. Could you share a little more about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But here's another unique thing that we need to understand that we have accepted as norm, and it's not. Let's say you go to a doctor's office and you see 20 people waiting in the waiting room. The doctor does not give one prescription for all 20 of them. Each and every one of them is a unique individual case, and they need special care. However, let me see now why this is. When you walk into a trainer's office, you see 20 people and a trainer gives one lecture for all. We have already established that there are 7 learning styles. And I don't mean that the trainer should give that training 7 different times, by all means, but throughout the training process, he or she should be utilizing these styles so everybody can connect. You mentioned engagement. Gallup, which is a global organization, highly respected around the world, interviewed 8,000 companies in the last 2 years with respect to engagement. They came up with people who are engaged in their business, people who are disengaged, and people who are actively disengaged. The engaged people basically are the ones who are positive. They go to work, they look forward going to work. The disengaged are the ones, I'm here, don't bother me. I'll collect my paycheck, 5 o'clock, I'm out of here. And the actively disengaged are the dangerous ones. They're the ones who will even fight the company, go against it. And now, do you want to guess the percentages? for each of the three segments. Due to time constraints, I'll give them to you: 30, 50, and 20. Basically means around the world, and mainly in the United States, 70% of the people that work for you are disengaged one way or another. So engagement is of paramount significance. And when we mean engagement, we don't just mean physical engagement, mainly we mean mental commitment. And to do that, you need to earn employees' trust. Look here what we found out that a company did. Here's a lady who worked 8 hours in a company, and by the end of the 8th hour, a security person, can you see his badge on his waist, is inspecting the lady's purse, thinking that, or to find out if she has stolen anything. Instead of saying, thank you for giving me 8 hours of your life, there he is asking her to open up and prove that she's not a thief in essence. And if we take a moment to think about it for a second, Ragnar and your audience, we take the elevator to go to the 10th floor, 20th, 25th floor, where our business is. And we know absolutely nothing about the engineer who repaired or last maintained the elevator. And we trust that person with our life. And we take the elevator because if the elevator plummets from the 20th floor, trust me, you're gone, okay? However, we don't trust our employees whom we know. We have inspect them, check their investigations, resumes, referrals, and everything else. To me, that's a tragedy. We should be trusting. Another thing that gets clearly explained and demonstrated is what CEOs and other top executives do, and that is the complaints. Companies don't want to hear about complaints, not realizing that a complaint is a blessing from the sky. And I want your audience to remember this. A complaint is a blessing from the sky, and it's like a red hot arrow that says, here's a problem, fix it. And if you fix it, you got the customer who complained again and again for life. If you don't, he or she is gone. However, look at the poor manager, says, yes, boss, and go down there, take care of it, and the manager does not want to hear about it. Again, that's another tragedy. And finally, and because I can see you have another question, here's something that we should be doing in making our people's work useful and appreciated. When I go to these workshops, I identify somebody, and let's, in our example, say, Tony has a 3-year-old little boy called David. And then I try to identify one of the top executives I have in the room, and I see who has a very expensive hand watch. So during the presentation, I said, Tony, you said that you have a little boy, 3 years old. Is that his picture? Yes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and then I go on and I ask this executive to give me his watch, an expensive $10,000 watch, gold with diamonds all over it, okay? Not this one, by the way. And then I say, ladies and gentlemen, if we presented the little baby with the watch and or a little toy, what do you think that the baby will grab and play with? Of course, right. The toy. Why? Because that makes sense to the child. Does the assignment that we give to our people make sense to them? Is it challenging enough? And these are things that we take for granted day in and day out. And I have a few other things to mention, but I know you have a question. So, and of course, all of these things are analyzed and presented in the book in full detail and in the workbook. Go ahead.
Yeah, is that those were the things that I saw, the 3 points. But is there any other concept or techniques that you could briefly mention to us, which we could benefit or add value to us?
Sure. Actually, let me begin with the workbook. Okay, the workbook consists of approximately 180 pages. However, the unique thing about it is that on every page of the workbook, it begins right on top. It begins with, I am a true professional. Then here are the exercises. And at the end, they have to sign, and it says the above represents my true and honest effort. So doing this 180 times, page in and page out, by the time they finish the workbook, they're used to putting forward their best foot possible and trying their best, okay? You also mentioned rewards a little while ago. Well, people need to understand that things that are rewarded and appreciated, they get done. Do we have a reward system? And now you're gonna see another full page here that I can send to your audience, okay? Do we have in our business a reward system that we can utilize and have our people take advantage of it? And if so, how attainable are they? Is it something like this? Produce 10,000 and we'll buy you a Mercedes or a Cadillac? Okay, that's not realistic. So here's the list. And the funny thing, if you can see the numbers, 51 of them which are in black color do not require any money. Only the final 5 in blue require some money. So here you have, as a business owner or as a manager, you have an opportunity to provide your people with 51 rewarding systems to make their life a lot easier and better, but we just don't. And we got to understand our people. Look at this company. The employee got hurt, they went to his home, put a ramp and an office right there so the person can work from home. Or look at this company. The person got handicapped and they modified the truck for him to use. So we got to understand our people. And let me leave you with this final thought on this segment. I want you to ask your people, if there's anything you could change, what would that be? And then when they tell you that they would change, sit down with them and say, how can we do it together? How can I help you? What is that I can do? How can I be of help? Don't just say, why aren't you doing it? Or another question that you may want to ask is, if this was your business, what would you do differently? And people, these are very crucial questions. We ask CEOs and top executives about it, okay? Ask your people, ask even the frontline people these type of questions, and you will find out a lot about the business. You got to commit to your people. I don't know if you know the story of the chicken and the pig. They were walking down the street. Do you know it? They were walking down the street, and the chicken sees a sign on the restaurant that was packed. People were waiting in lines. They were selling ham and eggs, bacon and eggs, and the chicken says, hey, buddy, we got both. We got the eggs, we got the ham, we got the bacon, we got everything. Well, why don't we start our own business? And the pig says, oh no. Why, buddy? Don't you trust me? Yes, I do, but I'll be committed. You will only be a participant. Are we committed to our people, to our business? Vitally important question that needs to be asked and re-examined by all owners. In closing, at least for this book, I have a very crucial concept about how we select supervisors. Let's assume for a moment that we have a manager who has about 20 people, and every day he or she has to do time schedules, time cards, assignments, and this and that, and at some point the manager says, oh God, I cannot do this, I need a helper, I need a supervisor, I need somebody. So out of the 20 people, he goes on and picks, selects, let's say, Mary, a person that he knows, or David, whatever the name may be, a person, and says, you are my supervisor from now on, here's a higher pay, and here are your responsibilities. Now, question I have for you is, if the day that the person was appointed as a supervisor, if some type of a friction, some type of sexual harassment case, or any other issue arises on the plant floor, in the office, what can he or she do? What does he or she know? And basically, I have some pictorial help here. You don't take a person who does not know how to swim and throw him or her in the deep end of the swimming pool and say, we'll teach you how to swim next week, okay? You teach them how to swim before you throw them in. You don't take a firefighter the first day that he or she is hired and say, go put out a fire. Same with doctors, same with policemen. So what we suggest to solve this problem or to anticipate this problem, mitigate this problem, is qualifications training. You announce to your 20 people, I'm going to need a supervisor. Whoever wants to go through the training process, sign up. And let's say now you have 3 people. They go through the process. You still select the one that you want, if that's what you want to do. But first of all, he or she is fully trained to anticipate everything, even on the first day of work. And on top of it, if 3 people took the course and the training, you got 2 other people ready to become supervisors in any and other issues. In closing this segment about train the trainer, here's another page that you will probably want a copy of it, but here are, folks, 74 training techniques that I've taught, and I've used them all. I'll be delighted to send you a copy. So
you addressed plenty of new and useful techniques, and of course, between the book and the workbook, it's people can benefit immensely. So let's switch now from this book to the other one, which I mentioned also in the beginning, which is the career success. And let's discuss the networking and the interviewing techniques. Why did you even wrote that book? What was in your mind when you did that?
Well, as I said briefly earlier, when the dean gave me the course to teach, I didn't like the book that he gave me. Okay, to me that was not the right. I mean, it didn't contain the right information. So I asked the students to return the book. The ones who had not purchased it, they were delighted. They didn't have to spend the money. And I taught the course through my notes and what I knew. They were so delighted. They were the ones who encouraged me to write the book, and I did. As a matter of fact, the concept of career success entails 4 concepts, 4 specific areas: networking and interviewing, which is what we'll discuss today, and also resume writing and portfolio. And that is in another book because it's too much to have it all in one book. So that's why I wrote the book. And again, we've interviewed and trained people on this, I would say, thousands over the years. Here are, if somebody wants to go for, let's say, a job interview. Actually, whenever I start this program, I ask people, how many of you are looking for a job? So they raise their hand. And then I say, how many of you are looking for a career? Oh, now they realize that a job and a career is 2 different things. And I say, you want a job, go to McDonald's. You want a career, listen, apply the principles that we will give you. And here are some of the principles that we have today. A successful interview begins well before the first word is spoken. You got to prepare, and you got to prepare in advance and prepare well. We show them how to control the interview, not the interviewer, the interview. So you bring the person to ask you the question you want. We also show them that the person who first mentions money loses. At some point, they're going to ask you, John, what kind of a salary are you looking for? You better not give them a number. And we have techniques, we teach them techniques on how to get them to give you the number. Most people go to an interview and they say, I know this, I know that, I know that, I know this, I know that. What we teach them is present your credentials, but keep the spotlight on the company's needs, which means I know this, and this is how I can help you. I know that, and it can help you in that way. I know that, it can help you that way. So make the connection and don't let the interviewer go there and make the connection themselves, because they may not make the right connection. We all look for jobs either on the internet, on papers, blogs and other places. However, not very many people know what is the unpublished number. That is where the good careers, the well-paying jobs are, and we show them how to uncover top positions in the unpublished market, which means basically those jobs have not been posted yet, and we show them ways on how to find out what jobs companies are prepared to post. And finally, we show them what the significance of a portfolio. A portfolio, in closing this segment here, is nothing else but a compilation of accomplishments, skills, projects, things that you have done in life, and you compile them in a folder. You go to an interview, and during the interview, you show them accordingly. Now, the interviewer is so impressed. Usually they say, well, David, you know you're coming in next Thursday for a follow-up interview. May I keep it so I can share with my folks here? And that is the time where you really astonish them, because basically what you're saying is, I'm sorry, but I have originals in this portfolio. However, here is a USB for you, and I designed it. I put it together just for you. You may have it so you can share it. They are astonished. They're blown out of the water. So when you go to an interview, as I said, you need to prepare, right? So doctors have, dentists have all the different types of tools. Carpenters have tools. As a matter of fact, this is what, a hammer? Do they only have one hammer? Well, guess what? I got news for you. They have all the different types of hammers depending upon what they want to do. Do interviewers have tools? They do. At least 10 of them I mentioned in here. I will just bring them up. I'm not going to cover them, but just mention them. That's business cards, stationery, envelope, cover letters, appearance, and all the way to the portfolio. And speaking of business cards, by the way, we show them how to design or not design. This is a business card. I'm sorry, that's not a business card, that's a flyer. But unfortunately, people are using this as a business card. This is another business card. I'm sorry, that's not a business card, okay? Business cards should be exactly that, a business card where they can find you and track you and find your information. It's not an advertising material. So basically, what are we talking about today? You said networking, right?
Yes, we want to talk about networking as well. So where and how someone is networking. I think that networking as itself, the definition has been so widely used. So
yes, the way that we present networking, Ragnar, and your audience as well, is nothing else but a presentation to a person or a group of people with the intent to bring them to the point to say, yes, I need this young man, I need this young woman in my company, and they will ask for your card. You got to impress them. You are not in a networking event to distribute resumes. You better not do that. We tell them that's a no-no. The only thing you should have with you is your business cards and the way that you approach the networking. Here's another list that your people will probably want. And the three things that you need to understand during networking, and you should have the answers on the tip of your tongue, is who you are, what you would like to do, and how you can help. For instance, I am a salesperson. I would like to sell you a product or service, and I can contribute to your by improving your sales. The next thing that people would love to hear is the word transferable skills. My transferable skills can help the company. In other words, this person has learned something and he or she can transfer that knowledge to my company. Therefore, it's not going to cost me anything. Yes, that's the person that I need. Do you follow the significance of these minor details? However, we need to, we address them and we train people. Here's a few other things that we tell them to prepare for. And again, we don't have the time to do this now, but you got to have your 20-second commercial. Or your management, they're going to ask you, Joe, we're hiring you as a manager. What is your management style? And because they're not prepared, they go, oh yeah, that's a good question. When you hear the people say that's a good question, means I don't have an answer, they're looking for it, okay? Oh yeah, that's a good question. Now they start looking at the ceiling, hoping that they'll find something up there. Good, well, management style, let me tell you, in the past, management style, even now, sometimes what I do, you don't know, you're not prepared. We show them how to address that question and answer it sweetly, short and to the point. Let's close this topic because I bet your folks have questions. By the way, do they know that they can ask questions anytime they want, if they want to post any? But anyway, let's go through another 2-3 minutes. That's all I need for the different types of interviews, okay? We have at least five types of interviews that we address here today. We have a lot more in the book. First is the telephone interview. And what we tell people is you are not fully dressed until you wear a smile. Even though you're on the phone, they can still see if you are a moody person or a smiling person or a pleasant person. However, we say avoid placing your cell phone on the resume because an employer might call you while you're doing this or that or that. Is that the right time for you to accept a call for a job interview? I don't think so. Okay, so we show them how to treat the call and how to treat when the call comes in and how to treat the cell phone and avoid it and so on. Then now, especially with COVID, we have video interviews, unfortunately, okay? But we had them all along, okay? And then we show them how to behave and what to do, what not to do. Electronic interviews are the ones where they want to test your technical skills. Group interviews are the ones where one person is being interviewed by a number of people, and finally, the one-on-one. Unless people have any questions, I don't know if
you
I only have one closing statement.
Well, if I think we need to go out from the, if you can close down the otherwise it's
I'll just take another 30 seconds then so I can give them the closing statement that I have, which has a lot to do with Earl Nightingale, if you know who he was, okay? In closing, folks, today I would like to say the following. I wish I could place an ad on every newspaper in the world or on the internet where under lost and found, it would say that yesterday I lost a 24-hour golden day where every hour was decorated with 60 diamond minutes and every minute was decorated with 60 ruby seconds. But don't look for that day. That day was yesterday. What did you do yesterday to pave the way for a better today for yourselves and the ones around you? And since today is the first day for the rest of your life, please make the commitment to take your life and time seriously. Life is not a game. It's an Olympic decathlon. Ethically compete in it. It's God's gift, accept it. But most importantly, folks, it is a championship. You are the only person in that championship game, and in that championship game, there's no timeouts, no substitutions, no replacements, and the clock never stops. Take the effort to do the best you can possibly be. Be the best you can be in your life for yourselves and others. Thank you. And Ragnar, thank you for having me today.
Beautiful. So we have our first question coming in, but before I do so, I want to thank you everybody that you have joined us here in Zoom, and also everybody that you are looking at Facebook Live. If you're watching Facebook Live, you can leave your questions underneath the video. The ones that are underneath Ragnar Sinika's profile, I will see immediately and I can ask them immediately. If you are watching under Coral Desk, then those questions will be answered after our session. And obviously, if you have joined us here in Zoom, then there's a area called chat area, or if you would like to put your microphone on, you can also ask the questions via microphone. So we have the first question: how can pandemic impacted workers benefit from your knowledge?
Well, the pandemic referring to the virus, right, that we have right now.
The pandemic, I would say the COVID.
COVID, yes. Well, yeah, specifically in education and basically in any business. See what we're doing today. Through Zoom, we're communicating with people from England, if I'm not mistaken, I know from India, Greece, and any part of the world. So learn and utilize technology to your advantage so you can take advantage of what technology can offer you and connect with your people. Years ago, I wasn't very fond of online teaching. As time progressed, I realized the benefits that we can have, because now we can reach even more people. And if you want to be in direct contact with your students, with your employees, you can do that. As a matter of fact, you know that we're closing on a property for the university, and now I see all the different types of properties out there that are for lease or for sale, simply because quite a few companies are utilizing people from home. They have them work from home, and they still do the work. So we discovered new ways due to COVID, due to the virus, and to look at the glass as half full instead of half empty. So basically, that's my advice. Take advantage of technology, learn it, and do your best.
I think it would be very valuable to add also, now you're out of any excuses why not to prepare for the career interviews, that you don't have time, and one excuse after another. I think the time really has been given to sit back, to reflect on your previous career moves. And I think if you haven't updated your profile in LinkedIn, that should be the call to action today after this show. Another question.
If I can offer something to them at this point, now that you mentioned it, if they want to send me their resume, I will do an evaluation and redesign for free. They're your people, your folks, I'll do it for free.
Beautiful. Are there cultural differences in networking?
Absolutely, yes. Even on the resume design, which is the other book that I have, in America, we design resumes differently than what they do in Middle East, Europe, or Latin America. Yes, there are things that you should know that should be or should not be included, and they're also mentioned in the book as well. Yes, the answer is definitely yes, and you got to be careful because you may offend somebody by not considering the cultural differences.
What do you consider is the most important leadership quality?
The definition that I've carved for leadership, and you'll see the most important element in there, is the following. A leader is the person with the artistic charisma to influence others in pursuing something positive in life for them and the ones around them. So it is influence and positive results. It's the artistic charisma to influence others to follow you with in pursuing something positive.
Let me see if we have people sending you greetings from Estonia, people sending you greetings from Mexico and London here. Let me see who else has joined and commenting here. Very valuable points for the interview. Thank you. Very valuable points on also employment engagement. So people do make notes, as you see. And let's see, what do we have here?
Let me on one of the comments that you just read, let me just, these folks, in the book that we mentioned, I have over 550 questions that are the most common that we know that have been asked out there. However, we don't only have questions and some answers. When we state a question, then I explain what is the intent of the interviewer. Why did he or she ask the question, and what does he or she expect? And we know this because we've interviewed HR people and other hiring authorities. So when I have a question, and about out of the 550 questions, I don't want to mislead anybody, about 120, the most common, are explained as such. Question, how and why, and then how to answer it. So if they go to the book, they'll see they'll get all the benefit, and yes, it will be highly beneficial.
Yes, in the end, we are going to share all the contact information, how you can find Dr. John Kalaras. We'll touch that question in a second again. But the other ones, what is the most important qualities a potential employee should look for in a company he wants to work for?
The company's culture and attitude towards employees. Are they just result bottom line oriented company, or do they care about the so-called stakeholders? And stakeholders are not just investors and customers. They're mainly the internal customers. And if I can explain that for a moment, as customer, we understand the person who pays for the service or product that the company sells. But there is the concept of the internal customer as well, who is the next person in line whose job responsibility depends on how well you do yours. So does the company value people's differences? Does the company value any and all differences like race, age, LGBT, and so on? I mean, these are things that a company needs to value. And do they provide for your growth and development? In our university, I have a statement in our mission that says, we'll help people develop all they want and we'll pay for their tuition. However, if they want a contract, in other words, John, I'll come and work for you, but I want a contract for the next 10 years, I'll say goodbye, thank you, adios. But if you want to be with us and you want, let's say next month, you tell me, John, I want to go for a master's, I'll pay for it. I want to go for a degree, I'll pay for it. I'll help you become as employable as you possibly can. My associates told me, but John, people are going to take advantage of us and leave. Let them leave. That's something that they're going to have to live with, but they're not going to because they're not going to find a better employer or somebody to work with in the, on the face of this earth. So yes, it is important.
So there's 2 more comments. Hello, glad to be here. Thank you, John. Jared is the one that sends you greetings. Fantastic presentation and the interview. I congratulate you. And greetings from Chris. Katya, thank you for joining us. And one more question. What are some of the challenges high school students will have when starting in autumn 2020?
Not only in 2020, but also previous years as well. See, there is a statement, it's the chicken and the egg, okay? You need experience to find a job and you need a job to find experience. So here you are, you may be a high school graduate, and I even have an example of a college graduate who never worked in her life. So, however, were they living in an ivory tower? No, they have done things. They have helped, let's say, different non-for-profit organizations, a church, a synagogue, a place, a team, a school, a politician, and so on. They have done different things. So we design resumes, including all the things that they have done in their life, even though they were not salary gaining activities, but they show that they are outgoing. There are people who like to be involved with others and help others. And we design resumes specifically for that, or according to this.
Okay. And the last question, is the future of teaching going to be limited by online classes and no networking among students?
Well, I don't think so, because now they're going to the other extreme if you only have online classes. I hope that this COVID will be with us not for much longer, maybe a year or 2, and then we'll go back to normal. However, as I stated earlier, teaching online and offering education online, if utilized properly, it can definitely be a big advantage for both the university and the students. You're in a classroom, you have 20, 30 students, okay, in a physical setting. You are online, you're gonna have students all over the world and educating maybe thousands at a time. So why not take advantage of that? Obviously you lose the in-person contact. No, because you could assign time so you as the professor could be available for the students. Obviously they're not gonna be able to shake hands with you, but they will still be able to see you and hear you and listen to you as people are doing right now with us.
And we have one more comment by Nasser. Thank you, John. Fantastic as always. So, John, before we close our interview, our traditional question: what are your 3 recommendations how to dominate the decade?
Well, the 3 things. 1, education. Educate yourself as much as you can. And I don't necessarily mean obtain a PhD, otherwise you are not educated. No, even if you just get a certificate, differentiate yourself from others and be the best you can be. So first is education. The second is leadership. Develop your leadership skills. If you look at the global plateau, we don't have the leaders we used to have 50 or 100 years ago. But I'm not talking about global leaders only. You are a leader in your family, in your group, with your friends, with your associates, in your company. Develop your leadership skills. Follow the definition that I gave a little while ago. And I do have, you know this already, a whole program on leadership qualities, and we have talked about it for Estonia as well. And the third is design and cultivate a positive self-image and attitude, where its purpose is quality-driven and results-oriented with trust, dignity, ethics, respect, and empowerment, along with a passion for life. Love what you do and you never work a day in your life. And that is contagious. Others would love to associate with you because that's what you're doing. So develop that type of attitude and character. Be a leader, whether it is a small group or a large, and educate yourself all you can. And you believe in education too. That's what you're doing, and that's why you're doing this.
Beautiful. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. So if someone wants to follow you, if someone wants to contact you, and specifically was LinkedIn asked here in the Zoom, how can they contact you?
Well, first, I already have given them my email address throughout the presentation. I hope they copied it. They can connect with me on LinkedIn. And with regards to the books, where again, my information isn't there, all they need to do is go on Amazon, search for books, and then put my name, John N Kalaras, and they'll see all my information in there as well.
In LinkedIn, are you as Dr. John N Kalaras or John N Kalaras? Are you
Dr. John N Kalaras?
Okay, so perfect. Let me see if I have a, yeah. So what would be the message that you want whoever was watching today, and hopefully everybody were making the notes, but what would be the main core message that you want people to take from this interview?
Keep on improving every day. Every day you wake up. Thank God for being awake, live and well, and do something to improve your day for yourself and the ones around you. Keep on improving on a daily basis, and in the long run, you will be far better off. And study, read books. There are all the different types of beautiful books out there, workshops, seminars. Connect with me, I'll send you information, okay? Anything they want. Thank you.
Very, very beautiful words. I want to thank you that you took the time to show up. I want to thank you for investing your time in yourself by listening everything that, or specific things that can help you to make improvements in your life. So if you didn't take the notes, I would invite you to go back to this video, write it down, but more than just writing down, also take action on those points, because by doing that, you will become the hero of your life by changing your life. Also, you can be the hero of someone else's life. How? By sharing this video, because we all know there's a lot of people which are unemployed. There are a lot of people who are in search for a new beginning. And I think the best way to do so is really prepare. And in a world which is so addicted to distraction, I think when we show up and when we present us in a way that stands out, then you have all the chances to succeed and get not the job, but the career that you have been dreaming of. So I wish you all the best. I really, truly hope that you will make it happen for you. Dream big, and you know that everything that you do, and as they say, everything that you can imagine, you can actually fulfill. So do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for your loved ones, and be the hero in your life and in someone else's life. Thank you everybody for joining us. We will continue next week without Zoom access. So all our interviews will be pre-recorded and nevertheless premieres at the same time from Monday till Friday, 11 a.m. Los Cabos time. Yes, John.
On what you just said, I have a statement that says, whatever you vividly imagine, wholeheartedly desire, and put the energy behind it, it will be accomplished.
Yes, beautiful. So thank you very much for joining us today. Join us next week from Monday till Friday, 11 a.m. Los Cabos time. And depending on the area that you are in US, whether it's Central time, then it's 12 p.m., whether it's Miami, Florida, New York, then you're 2 hours ahead. So it will be 1 p.m. for you. And if you are in California, then this is going to be 10 a.m. for you. Thank you very much for joining us. And we will see you in next episode. Thank you very much.